All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Brock Beard, and this is your extremely low-tech NASCAR 99 Fantasy Racing Series for the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series here in 2015. It is Thursday, February 12th. It is 2 nights now before the Sprint Unlimited and the official start of the season. So I figured we'd start off with the same little series that we started on Twitter last year. Remember a few pictures that I had on there from a simulator? That was all run on this extremely low-tech computer that I had in 2001. The first year and a half of my old starting grid videos, believe it or not, were run on this extremely ancient computer. That little sound you hear in the background, that is a fan that's actually running in the background. I have to put some extra cooling under it or the thing will overheat in about 10 minutes. So we have the game all loaded up here. As you can see, we're doing it on a camera. Don't really have any ability to run a capture software on this thing. It's bamboozled by this program by itself. So at any rate, what we're going to do is we're going to continue that fantasy series that we had on Twitter last year, where we just did accelerated time races in NASCAR Racing 99 with the current entry lists. And here's the way we're doing it. We have right here all of the drivers that are on the current Daytona 500 entry list. And all the cars have extremely basic paint jobs, but also they are all set up exactly the same. Their little skill levels are set the same. They're all set up with the same chassis and everything else. We're going to try to make it as even as possible. So first of all, we're going to go through the field. We have Joplin, Missouri's Jamie McMurray in the number 1. We have Brad the Big Keselowski, the 2012 champ. We have Austin Dillon, the new second generation driver that's driving the 3 car once again. Don't have anything clever for him yet, but I'm working on it. All right, Happy Kevin Harvick, the defending series champion in car number 4. Casey Citizen Kane in car number 5. Trevor Bayne migrates over to the number 6 from Roush Fenway Racing. Here's Alex Bowman making the move over to Tommy Baldwin's only team this year. Sam Hornish Jr. makes a return to the Cup Series, driving for Richard Petty Motorsports. Danica Patrick still looking for her first win in her last contract year with Stewart-Haas Racing. Denny Hammer and Hamlin made it the last 4 rounds of the chase last year, and he's back in the FedEx machine. Casey Mears still hanging tough in the Geico Chevrolet. Number 14 of Tony Stewart, after a very difficult season, is back in the saddle again. Number 15, Clint Boyer in the 5-hour Energy Peak machine, looking for his first win in more than 2 years. Greg Biffle with new sponsorship, not the 3M machine anymore. The number 16, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. back in the 17. Kyle Busch, Rowdy himself in the number 18. Carl Edwards in the brand new number 19, the teammate to Kyle Busch in the RS number 19. Matt Kenseth in the Dollar General machine. He'll also be back with DeWalt this year. Ryan Blaney takes over the reins of the Wood Brothers machine. Joey Logano in the Shell Pennzoil machine. And here is J.J. Yaley with BK Racing in the number 23. The 24 in his final full-time season and his final Daytona 500 is Jeff Gordon, the Wonder Boy. Jeb Burton starts his rookie season this year, driving for BK Racing in the 26. Paul Menard in the bright yellow number 27 is back again. And Justin Marks makes his first start since the 2013 race at Sonoma in the RAB Racing Toyota. Number 30 is Ron Hornaday, the Motorsports Group, making the move from the Xfinity Series to the Cup Series for the first time this year. And Ryan Newman, second place last year at Homestead, back in the Caterpillar Chevrolet. The number 32 is now Texas Bobby Labonte in the Fast Lane Racing Ford. The number 33 is Ty Dillon. He's going to be joining brother Austin in another expansion Childress team, previously the Joe Falk team, but now also running Childress equipment. The number 34, David the Amaze, and David Reagan back in the CSX and also the KFC machine, actually, with the sponsorship change this year. Cole Witt has brought his Speed Stick sponsorship over to Front Row to join in the 35 team. The number 38 is still David Gilliland, still looking for his first win, second place at Talladega in 2013. Landon Castle, the number 40, very good last fall at Talladega. He's in the Mike Hillman team that now is a Hillman-Smith Motorsports team after a recent merger. Kurt Busch, at least, is on here right now, depending on the outcome of that very bizarre case he's involved in. Kyle Larson, the defending Rookie of the Year, is in the number 42. Aric Almirola made the chase last year after a thrilling win in July's race at Daytona's, a rain-shortened event in the Petty machine. The 44, in a slightly different paint job, actually, is Reed Sorensen. Golden Corral joining him over here at the the Team Extreme Racing, formerly Extreme Motorsports. The number 46 is the new second team coming out of the H. Scott Motorsports team. Michael Annett making the move over there. This was the 52 last year that Bobby Lamani drove. 47 is last year's Watkins Glen winner, A.J. Allmendinger. Dangerous A.J. Allmendinger. And number 48, of course, is the 40 Dominate of Jimmy Johnson, looking to bounce back after a rather disappointing second half of last year. Number 51 is Justin Allgaier, one of last year's rookie contenders, his second season in the number 51. Michael Waltrip takes over for Brian Vickers as he recovers from his blood clot injury. Waltrip back in the number 55 Aaron's Dream Machine, and the number 62, live TV, everyone. The number 62 is Brian Scott. This is what was the 36 car for Tommy Baldwin Racing. They now changed the number. Brendan Gaughan is going to run this for most of this year. Scott will be running it at Daytona. The number 66 is Mike Wallace, a 2003 and 2007 top 10 finisher of the Daytona 500. He is back in the Identity Ventures racing team that is now actually Premium Motorsports, cheating a little bit on my entry list. And the number 78, as once again, Furniture Row Racing, Martin Truex Jr. back in the number 78 once again. Last year's outside pole sitter before that crash in the duels. The number 83, Johnny Sergeant Sauter, makes his first Cup start in several races. He's in yet another BK Racing entry. The number 87 is Joe Nemechek. He brings back the number 87 back into the field once again. He was a last place finisher here in 2013 and leads all drivers in last place finishes in the Daytona 500. The number 88 is Dale Earnhardt Jr., the fan favorite, back in the, now with new sponsorship from Nationwide Insurance. The number 95 is Michael McDowell, the Texas Twister. The Levine Family Racing Team picked up a couple of new sponsors, and they'll actually be running the Thrivent Financial Scheme this weekend. The number 98, speaking of new paint jobs, is the White Machine of Josh Wise, the Reddit-sponsored machine also, hopefully again later this season. And that brings us right back to the top of the field again. So, what we have here is we have all 50 drivers on here. Now, the limitation to this program is that you can only run 39 cars at a time. So what we do here is we start off with pretty much all the drivers that you expect to really start in the race. I have my own player car here that will run in the background. So what we have here is we start with about 32 of these drivers. I'm just checking. I haven't updated this yet, so I'm just seeing if there's anybody else I was going to take out. This is pretty much what I was satisfied with. Oh no, we need to add Carl Edwards on there. And that's about it. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to keep this list as is with all these other drivers here. And instead, we're going to run a qualifying race that will run all of the ones here on the left side here of the screen against each other, and then the top 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3, 8, 3, 9, 6 other drivers from that qualifier race will transfer over into this field here, and everybody else won't make it in there. So we're going to just kind of work it out that way. As it happens, of course, the Daytona 500 has its own qualifying race, so we're not going to worry about that too much. So let's go over here. Actually, first of all, it would help if we actually did an entry list for the Sprint Unlimited. All right, and the list for the Sprint Unlimited, we start with my player car. We're going to move that in the background. And then we're going to add Joplin, Missouri's Jamie McMurray. We're going to add Brad Keselowski. We're going to add Austin Dillon. We're going to add Kevin Harvick. We're going to add Casey Kane. We're also going to add Danica Patrick. We are going to add Hamlin, Mears, Stewart, Boyer, Biffle, Stenhouse, Kyle Busch, Carl Edwards, Matt Kenseth. Then we're going to skip to Joey Logano. Then we're going to go to Jeff Gordon. Then we're going to go to Paul Menard. And then we're going to jump down to Ryan Newman. And then we're going to go down here to Kurt Busch, Kyle Larson, Aric Almirola. And then we're going to go down lower to Jimmy Johnson. And we're going to get down to Martin Truex. And then finally we're going to add Dale Jr. Now, here's how we're going to do this. I believe, oh, that's not good. Okay. Some of the graphics on here, again, are not the best. We do have the Sprint Unlimited on here, 75 laps We don't need to do a qualifying race for this one, so we're going to just go ahead and do this straight through. We're going to add in player breakdowns. Actually, before we do that, let me show you my player car here as well. There you go. I added a J.D. McDuffie tribute scheme a while back. I did a whole car set with LASTCAR champions on here. I could post some more information on that in a later video, but at any rate, let me go ahead and do this list. And we're going to go ahead and jump into it. Let me zoom in this a little bit tighter so we get the better view of the screen here. Again, not perfect, but we'll go ahead and run with it here. All right, qualifying. We're going to actually have qualifying in this. Oh, we're not going to run here. We're going to go ahead and back out of that. All right, quick qualify. Danica Patrick, Casey Kane, Kenseth. Oh, we got a shuffle for the pole at the last second, and Kenseth is going to be the one leading the field. Kurt Busch second. And we wrap up the field here. Jamie McMurray, Casey Kane, Kevin Harvick, Jeff Gordon, Danica Patrick, Kyle Larson, Joey Logano, and Ryan Newman, your top 10 for the Sprint Unlimited. We're going to go ahead and just run the straight 75 laps here without any other elements to it. So let's just jump right into it. Now, this, for those of you who don't know, accelerated time is this little function that you have in NASCAR 99 when you don't have the patience to actually race, or if you actually get in a crash and you can't make it the rest of the way, you go ahead and hit this little button here and it'll run it about, I don't know, it runs pretty quick. This race here will probably take only about a couple of minutes, but it'll run the rest of the race for you, and you can jump out of it and see replays of what's happening. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. All right, hang on one moment. Okay, we're going to jump back into this here. I only think there was only about one lap complete when I cut away. We're going to jump back into it. Here we go. Kenseth, Logano, Harvick leading the way. Harvick back up to second. Biffle to second now. Paul Menard last. Biffle and Kenseth going for it. Kenseth's got the lead. Biffle shuffles back. Kenseth, Kane, Patrick. Kane to the lead now. 12 laps complete. Stewart still trailing the field. Kane, Biffle, Kenseth, Logano trying for it. Still nobody out. This aero package isn't very competitive here. Kane, Biffle, Kenseth, Logano, Patrick. Johnson to last. Wow, here we go. Stenhouse, Menard. Oh, no, shuffling at the front again. Danica Patrick. Let's take a look at how the heck she managed that. Oh, there we go. Update a few of the paint jobs. Cool. There we go. Oh, here we go. We actually have some action. I don't know why you're not going to throw a caution for that, I guess. Ryan Newman in trouble. Unlike ESPN, we got ourselves an actual replay of that. Okay. So, looks like we might be under caution here. No caution. Okay. Danica Patrick leads. Casey Kane, Jamie McMurray, Greg Biffle, Matt Kenseth, your top 5. Okay, past the halfway point, pit stop cycling through. Paul Menard drops to the back. Patrick still leads. Edwards second. Biffle third. Kenseth fourth. Kane fifth. Newman only 10 seconds behind the pack. Conceivably, we actually get that caution. We can get him up there. Looks like we have a pretty big lead for Danica Patrick. My goodness. Heading up to... Oh, suspension problems for Edwards. He's out of the show. Oh, dear. Terrible break for his first race. Oh, Keselowski out with gearbox issues. Danica Patrick leads. Biffle second. Kane third. Kenseth fourth. Danica leads by 10.6 seconds with only 5 laps to go. Ryan Newman loses a lap finally after that early spin. Last lap, checkered flag. Danica Patrick wins the first race of 2015 starting from the 7th spot. Danica Patrick, Casey Kane, Greg Biffle, Kurt Busch, Joey Logano, Kyle Busch, Kenseth, Boyer, Dillon, and Almirola, your top 10. Well, there you have it. The first call of the season. Carl Edwards with problems, Keselowski with problems. Edwards with the last place finish. He's finished last in the All-Star race. I don't think he's finished last in the showdown. Okay, well now comes the fun part. Now we get to go back into the list here. And we're going to do the list for the sprint, the Budweiser duels. So to make this a little easier, I'm gonna take a picture of this to make sure I get a picture of the right drivers. All right, and we start the last chance qualifier group. And actually, I probably shouldn't put Trevor Bayne in there, but you know what? I'm going to make it challenging anyway. Just one moment. Okay, moving on, we're going to do one qualifying race instead of two. We have 18 drivers that are competing for the final 6 spots in the Daytona 500. Here is the qualifying lineup as we have them set. Michael McDowell, the Texas Twister, on the pole alongside Mike Wallace. Cole Witt and Justin Marks in the second row. Third row belongs to Trevor Bayne and Johnny Sauter. Fourth row, Brian Scott and J.J. Yaley. Ron Hornaday and Ty Dillon are in row 5. Bobby Labonte and Reed Sorensen in row 6. The seventh row has Josh Wise and Jeb Burton, Landon Castle and Ryan Blaney in row 8, and the final row will have Joe Nemechek and Michael Annett. 60 laps will determine the final 6 spots in the field. Let's go ahead and get it underway. Michael McDowell leads the field to the green. Here they come, and there they go. Michael McDowell, Cole Witt, Trevor Bayne, your top 3. The transfer spot currently belongs to Joe Nemechek. Josh Wise, already with an issue, has cost him a lap to the field. Let's take a look at what happened here. Oh, we have some damage here, and ooh, wow, he spun out in the middle of the tri-oval. I don't know how he managed that. Spun out of the 4th position. He breaks loose, backs it into the fence. And that will most definitely cost him a spot in the field, as he loses a couple of laps to the rest of the field. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get back to the action. 7 laps complete. McDowell leads, Castle second, Witt third. Transfer spot is now Ryan Blaney. We're going to have the 1/3 mark coming up here. McDowell, Castle, Ty Dillon, Ryan Blaney, Brian Scott, Nemechek, and now they're shuffling again, and Jeb Burton has the transfer spot. Witt trying to get it back. He has a cushion of about a half a second, and now it's tightening back up again. Jeb Burton is in the 6th spot now, and we have Johnny Sauter back to the 17th position, Reed Sorensen in 16th. They're about to lose a lap before not too much longer. They're kind of by themselves. Meanwhile, at the front of the pack, Michael McDowell and Landon Castle have left the entire field behind. Ron Hornaday trying to lead a charge as pit stops cycle through on lap 43. Castle takes the lead now, and Ron Hornaday to second. Transfer spot now belongs to Michael Annett with Jeb Burton on the outside looking in. Bobby Labonte and Cole Witt trying to get back in. Wise pits, and he remains now 3 laps down to the rest of the field. As we get down to the last 5 laps, Castle leads by 4.1 seconds. Hornaday in second. Nemechek 7th. He's going to try to shuffle his way into the field. He gets shuffled out and back in again. 4th spot goes to Joe Nemechek. 6th gets the Michael McDowell, dominant car of the field. On the outside looking in this time was Mike Wallace, Cole Witt, and Brian Scott. Jeb Burton, the rest of the field, they will not make the show. So we go to the screen again. We're going to go ahead and go low tech once more. Get the picture. So the final few transfer drivers are going to be Landon Castle in the 40. Ron Hornaday gets the Motorsports Group in. Bobby Labonte in the C&J Energy Services number 32 for Fast Lane Racing. Joe Nemechek, one of the last entries in the field. He shuffled his way in there in the last second. Ty Dillon in 5th. Michael McDowell in 6th. Let's take a look at the final couple of laps there as things shuffled out. Actually, let's go ahead and cue it back from here. And a little faster way to do it. We'll go ahead and just kind of mash this rewind button here a little bit. It's like they were locked side by side for most of the deal here. There is Nemechek in the 6th spot as we see onto the back straightaway with 2 laps remaining. Ty Dillon up in front of him. 3rd, and Josh Wise is damaged car by himself. Nemechek trying to hang on. As you see McDowell behind him, and there is the number 35 of Cole Witt on the inside, Mike Wallace in front of him. Nemechek trying to hang on to the 7th spot. Actually, this is coming to the white flag this time. Wow, don't want to miss that at all. Okay, Nemechek up into the 6th position now. The outside line starting to move. Inside line kind of stalling out here. Ty Dillon leading the group. And then up at the high side here, we have the Bobby Labonte machine right in front of Nemechek. This is allowing Nemechek to get to the 6th spot. Mike Wallace on the inside trying to stay in contention, but Ty Dillon is just not moving. Cole Witt is not really helping either, and somehow 3 cars are out dueling about 6 cars on the inside. And here comes Nemechek. He moves up to the 5th spot. That moves the 6th spot back to Wallace. Here is McDowell on the high side of him as they come off of turn 4 for the final time. Coming down into the tri-oval, Wallace is in 6th, he's in 6th, he's in 6th, he's in 7th. Boom! Misses the show by just that much. Oh my goodness. It does not get much closer than that. Okay, on to the main event. Let's back out of here. And let's add the contenders into the 500 field. So many people missing the race. In hindsight, I probably should have put Trevor Bayne in there, but what's racing if you don't have a little bit of drama? Okay, Landon Castle, first one in. Then we get Ron Hornaday into the show. Then we get Bobby Labonte. Then we get Joe Nemechek. Then we get Ty Dillon. And the final transfer driver is Michael McDowell. So there's your DNQ list on the left, and there's your full entry list on the right. Trevor Bayne, Ryan Blaney both missing the show. Justin Marks, Cole Witt, Reed Sorensen, Michael Lynette, Mike Wallace just barely the last second, and Johnny Sauter. So let's back out of this. Let's go back into the race. We're going to crank this back up to full 100%. And we are going to do qualifying for the Daytona 500. And as we go ahead and buzz right through that, Landon Castle, your pole sitter for the Daytona 500, with Michael McDowell in 2nd, Greg Biffle 3rd, Paul Menard 4th, then Clint Boyer, Michael Waltrip, Carl Edwards, Austin Dillon, Casey Mears, and Justin Allgaier, your top 10. And starting in the back of the field, we have Almirola and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Several big names at the back of the field. Jimmy Johnson 27th, Kevin Harvick in 29th. Jeff Gordon, his final 500, will roll off from the 14th position. And Carl Edwards in his first ride with Joe Gibbs will start from 7th. So let's go ahead and go down to the grid. And there they all are. Let's try it from TV2. There we go. There's a good shot. And we will get it going. All right. Green flag in the air. Landon Castle, Greg Biffle take him to the green flag. Michael McDowell shuffles into the 2nd spot as the middle of the field straightens itself out. Gordon with problems early. He falls back to the 35th spot. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. back in the pack with Danica Patrick. Casey Mears is the lead, and now Dale Jr. is the lead as the crowd goes wild. Castle stumbles back to the 11th position. Casey Mears trying to make a challenge. A.J. Allmendinger up to 2nd. Ricky Stenhouse 17 seconds back of the leaders. Dale Earnhardt Jr., Clint Boyer, A.J. Allmendinger, Casey Mears, Michael Waltrip, your top 5. Kyle Busch and Michael McDowell now shuffling back and back up again. That's how quickly it happens. Ricky Stenhouse and Danica Patrick now 25 seconds behind the field. And Jimmy Johnson with issues. He loses the lap for the first time. And A.J. Allmendinger loses a lap. Looks like we may have had some contact that did not bring out a caution once more. What happened here? Let's try it from TV1. Ooh. Oh, that'll do it. Jimmy Johnson breaks loose, backs into the fence. Tony Stewart might have actually given him the horns a little bit. Let's take a look at the roof camera from the 14. Here they come into the corner. Oh no, he just lost it. Wow. That's all it takes. A.J. Allmendinger, I thought he was involved in that. I guess he wasn't. Let's move back up to where he is. There he is. He was running 2nd, and running 2nd and smacked into the fence off of turn number 2. Got the fence pretty good on lap 35. Didn't bring out a caution. How did the field... Whoa, boy! How did the field actually miss hitting him? Coming down the back straightaway. Allmendinger spins out, drops all the way to the back of the field, but keeps going. That was... Ooh, wow. Whoa, boy. Still a close call. All right, back to the action. Dale Jr. leads pit stops, cycling through for the first time. Jamie McMurray to the lead, Harvick to the lead, and Mears back to the front. Now he pits, and that's going to give the lead to Michael McDowell, and Dale Jr. is out with a header problem. 43 laps in the books. Dale Jr. will finish last. Casey Kane next to last. My goodness. That did not take long at all. Harvick and Larson to the lead. Kurt Busch, Denny Hamlin. And the field settles out a little bit. Harvick, Kurt Busch, Brad Keselowski, Michael McDowell, Denny Hamlin, your top 5. One lap down are Johnson and Allmendinger. Dinger in the lucky dog spot, but unfortunately no lucky dog in NASCAR Racing 99 edition. Harvick leads Keselowski. Keselowski to the lead for the first time. Hamlin second. Harvick trying to get up to second spot here. And trying to win his first 500 since 2007. He is a half second back. Keselowski, Harvick, Kenseth, Kurt Busch, and Denny Hamlin. Let's see, Jimmy Johnson 3 laps down, AJ Allmendinger 2 laps down, Nemechek pits, Allmendinger finally out of the race with valve problems in his damaged machine. Pit stop cycle through, Casey Mears to the top now, Kevin Harvick to the top. Suspension issues for Kyle Busch will take him out and drop him to 35th. Kevin Harvick, Matt Kenseth, Brad Keselowski, Kurt Busch, and Denny Hamlin, your top 5. And the top 4 have broken away from the field. They're 0.3 of a second apart as we get past the halfway mark. 7 seconds back is Denny Hamlin in 6th. Last car in the lead lap is Danica Patrick. Austin Dillon is back there as well. 3 laps down is Greg Biffle. 2 laps down is Jimmy Johnson. 2 laps down is also Bobby Labonte with some issues as well. Kevin Harvick leads the field after 118 laps in the books by only 1/10 of a second over Matt Kenseth. Kurt Busch trying to get the spot, and Kurt gets the lead on lap 123. Kurt Busch to the lead, Harvick to second, Kenseth in third. The rest of the field still going. We only have now 16, no, make that 10, no, make that 7 cars in the lead lap, and the caution is out for the first time today on lap 133 as a gearbox issue for Sam Hornish Jr. What on earth brought out the yellow? I did not see anybody taken out in an accident. We will find out shortly. Is it possible we have debris cautions in this game? I guess that's possible. We will find out. Let's move up. And, oh yeah, there's Hornish blowing up on pit road, but it looks like he got there safely. And then we're going to see... Oh, looks like Landon Castle with issues. Oh, so this looks like a traffic jam here. Oh, boy. Castle just got in the back end of Carl Edwards as the slowing car of Michael Annett was lapaging the field trying to come out of pit road. He was going, yeah, he was just coming out of pit road. And the rest of the field was just stacking up behind him. Yeah. Oh, it didn't take much. I don't think even Annett got some damage in that. I think it was just Castle and Edwards. Must have dropped something on the track. Let's take a look at it from the roof cam of the 40. Yeah, been up pretty good in the nose of the Hillman Racing entry. We go back to the full screen again. Here comes the 7, and oh, boy, that's how easy it happens. Tough break for the both of them. Well, they were in the middle of the pack. Maybe not too tough of a break, but, you know, this is what happens. All right. So that's going to put Brad Keselowski up front, and it's going to put a lot of people at the tail end of the lead lap right in front of the leaders with 10 cars in, well, with 10 cars in the initial group, but 16 on the lead lap. They're gobbling through those drivers pretty quick. Brad Keselowski, your leader. Ty Dillon with engine issues is going to drop him out. Keselowski, McMurray, Hamlin, Kenseth, and here comes Kenseth up to third. 50 laps to go. Keselowski leads McMurray, Kenseth, Harvick, and Kurt Busch. Denny Hamlin, Logano, Mears, Hornaday, a surprising run in the Motorsports Group entry. Stenhouse rounds out the top 10. Stenhouse and Patrick, they were right at the back of the field. They're still a lap down, Patrick is at least. And they are back in contention. Lap 164, Keselowski leads McMurray, Kenseth, Harvick, Kurt Busch, Denny Hamlin, Casey Mears. As we keep going, and Kenseth goes for the lead on lap 171. Let's take a look at how that happened. Here is the pack. Here they go. And we cue it back. Oh, looks like he just kind of stepped out of the way. A bizarre decision by Keselowski. Maybe some debris on the grill again. Hard to tell. But yeah, he was right there. These top 3 drivers were all pulled away from the pack. Keselowski, Kenseth, and McMurray. The next car was nowhere near him. And there is Keselowski in the Miller Lite Ford. And here comes Matt Kenseth in the Toyota and Jamie McMurray in the Chevrolet. They just kind of draft right around him here in the tri-oval. And that's going to put Kenseth up front with a chance to win yet another 500, his first since 2012. And there he goes in the Joe Gibbs entry. So now, with we got 25 laps to go here, can something turn around? We have pit stops. That is shuffling the field here with inside the last 22 laps. Got to make sure you don't get a caution out there that could shuffle the field once again. Kenseth, McMurray, Keselowski, Kurt Busch, and Kevin Harvick, your top 5. Hamlin, Hornaday, Mears, Logano, and Stenhouse, your top 10. They're the only cars on the lead lap after 188 laps. 9 laps to go for Kenseth. McMurray, 4 seconds back. Johnson out with an engine problem. 4 laps to go, 3 laps to go. Kenseth hanging on to a sizable lead, and he will take it to the finish line. Matt Kenseth from the 24th spot will win his 3rd Daytona 500 over Jamie McMurray. Brad Keselowski in 3rd, Kurt Busch in 4th, Kevin Harvick in 5th, Denny Hamlin 6th, Ron Hornaday, the big surprise of the show, in 7th, Casey Mears in 8th, Joey Logano 9th, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr., after being way at the back of the field, finishes a lap down in 10th. And Dale Jr., absolute heartbreak for him. Casey Kane as well. You know, 3 Hendrick cars in the bottom half of the field. Just don't see that every day. So, what we have, and as we go back to the replay and celebrate with the winner, Matt Kenseth, there he is. And what's 4.7 seconds look like out there? Pretty good amount. There he is there. And through the rest of those field, there we go. McMurray was just coming into the tri-oval. Kind of looks like 2004 if they didn't have Stewart and the lapped Kurt Busch up there. So that's all there is right there. So the official margin of victory, 4.319 seconds. Only 1 caution that happened way on lap 130. Only 19 lead changes, and the race went by at a pretty good clip. So that's the prediction for this race. I believe the computer predicted Matt Kenseth was going to win something last year too, but didn't quite come to pass. But hey, there's your first of the fantasy group. So I know it's been a little bit weird. We had to break it up into parts here a little bit, but hope you enjoyed it. And if you want to see more videos like this, or you want to see less of them, go ahead and leave a comment at the bottom of this video. And to all of you, I wish you a very happy Speed Weeks, and I'll see you at the races. Thank you.